Again, the leader of economic freedom fighters, Julius Malema, has kicked against the renewed xenophobic attacks against African indigenes.
All the xenophobia and Afrophobia that you have practiced here in South Africa today. And I want to challenge you. You say Zimbabweans take your job, Nigerians take your jobs, and you march and close shops and beat up people. Tell us, after doing that, how many jobs have you created? By beating up these Nigerians, by beating up these Ghanaians, by beating up these Zimbabweans, loading them. If you load them, I have not seen anyone being loaded. No one. And you say they take jobs from you. You have beat them up, you have taken them out of the country. How many jobs have you created after that? Because the battle should be about jobs. You beat people because they took your jobs. They ran away. You close a shop that hires 5 people and say they take our jobs. After closing that jobs, how many jobs have you created? Unskilled men with no skill, none whatsoever. Say somebody took their job. The only skill they know is to drink inteles, impesu, and all of that nonsense, and want to pretend like they are revolutionary as it were. I don't want your vote if you behave like that. Take them away. If the MK wants it, give it to them. I don't want the votes that says to me, I must hate Africans for you to vote for me. I'll never do that. That I must go take an African child out of school, proud elderly person, pushing a child, an African child that looks like you. I must go to a school and push a child that looks like Opano. My child, I said, get out of school. The same way apartheid did, and push Lindiwe Zulu out of school, Lindiwe Zulu out of school, and saying, you are not worthy of education. I must repeat that. I must do that. I will never do that. You can take your votes. Let me die with my conscience very clear. I will never refuse a pregnant woman of African descent to give birth in the clinics of South Africa. Never will I do that. I did not join politics because I wanted to be anything. I joined politics because I saw.
The news is all over the place since April. I think since March, last 2 months, there have been renewed xenophobic attacks against Africans, whether they are Nigerians, Ethiopians, Somalians, Zimbabweans, Ghanaians. They go to their shops, they loot their shops, they beat them. In fact, it has led to even South African indigenes closing down their shops. Now, Julius Malema raised powerful points. I hope that South Africans that watch this video watch up to this length, because most people don't watch commentaries. They are not interested in commentaries. And many people in this life, most South Africans really, has nothing to do with facts. This man is asking a valid question that I keep asking so many South Africans. You meet people, you go to foreigners' shops, before they say that Nigerians don't have job, this black, I don't understand how you are attacking your fellow black African. Before, they started with illegal, undocumented foreigners rhetoric. They say undocumented foreigners must go. So they've met hundreds and thousands of black Africans who are legal, documented in South Africa. They say, no, we don't just want to see you. You just have to go. Who does that? I have continued to maintain that if these leaders of this protest, like the center of March by March, the center and Gobe Sezuma, and I don't even know who is leading Operation Dudula right now, because there's internal crisis in the Operation Dudula team, and all these locals, illiterates, who are now championing these xenophobic attacks against black Africans. My question to them is, what skill do you have that makes you employable? So a group of uninformed, uneducated people came together, and they are mobilizing uneducated people as well to go against people who are staying in South Africa legally, who struggle to set up businesses. There are a lot of businesses in South Africa. When we raised our voices, they said South Africans in Nigeria are staying illegally. How about the attacks that they are meting out to foreigners? I don't even want to use the word foreigners. Black Africans in South Africa that are legal. The Ghanaian man they met, the guy was legal. In fact, it has now gotten worse. They are now shooting and killing black Africans in South Africa. This is, to me, high level of madness. Julius Malema is asking them, how many jobs have you created? You go to somebody's shops, you pull it down, you lock it up, you loot it. They started with looting in March, and it got some second week of April. From looting, they have now got to the level of killing. And I can tell you that these mobilizers of this madness, they call whatever movement, they are the ones that should be held responsible for this senseless killing of innocent black Africans. Julius Malema is asking a question. People that are not educated, unskilled people, are the ones who parade themselves that they are parading themselves as revolutionaries. They can't even make. I understand that English is not a language in Africa, but you cannot even engage somebody in a decent conversation than using provocative words, insultive words. I was just thinking about this, and it's too difficult for me to bear. You meet someone who uses money, everything. Before they say Nigerians do drugs, they are no longer saying Africans or Nigerians are doing drugs. They just want all Africa. I mean, somebody should help me. Can that be possible? Can any country anywhere in the world, I can't name any country in the world where you say every other person in that country should leave, it's only you and your country people should stay. I have never. But this is what we are getting in 2026. I'm not talking about Stone Age, 1899, 17. We are talking about 21st century. I don't know when we are getting to 22nd century. That people who did not fall from heaven, they were not excavated from the ground. They were given birth to conceive by their parents, by their mothers, and they were given birth to like every other person, are telling fellow black African that they should leave, whether you are documented or not documented, that they should just leave. They need their jobs. Now, make no mistake, these people they are attacking are not into government jobs. When you say you're taking our jobs, most of these people created their own jobs. Ethiopians, Nigerians, they open shops. They are selling footwear, shoes. When you come online, you see a lot of online rich black South Africans. In reality, they are broke. They don't have money. So they say, Nigerians don't have jobs. They are only selling on the street. But how is that now your problem? If you say Nigerians they are just selling on the street, you don't even know that these things, this trade that these people do, there is no way that you be diligent on something without being successful. This South African, I have said it many times, most of these guys are lazy, and jobless. I want to put it to them, because it's very, very difficult, it's a very difficult thing, and it's nearly impossible to do. There is no way these black Africans will leave South Africa. You can protest the way you want, do whatever thing you want. All of them cannot leave. Let's assume that your request is granted. These protesters, let's assume that all black South Africans leave South Africa. You can still do nothing with those business. You don't have the idea, you don't have the knowledge. It takes someone who has business acumen, someone who has business prowess to manage and sustain a business. So you say, let's leave it. Those businesses will crash. Highest, let's just say, give it a span of 1 year. Hunger will still eat deep into the fabric of these people. So I don't understand how you say they are taking all our jobs. These people that are taking your jobs, they are not into government job. They are traders. They are barbers, hairstylists. Nobody say you should not become a hairstylist in your own country. Nobody say you should not become a barber. But you guys feel like these jobs are demeaning jobs. This job it's not worth it, you don't deserve to do this job. And these black Africans came in and started doing it. Your own people are the ones patronizing them. So how about protesting or telling your people not to patronize black Africans in South Africa? You can't do that. You can't control people's desire and choice. So before they were like, they stopped giving out shops to black Africans, and that was not also a problem. They started using their apartments, their rooms. Still, South Africans, we are still going to patronize these people. They say no, this is not working. They now say, look, let's go to undocumented foreigners. Imagine calling your own fellow black African a foreigner. Let's go to undocumented foreigners. They started discovering that those that are coming out, those that are meeting currently, they are now documented. They say no, whether you are documented or not documented, we just want you to go. Where is it done? The infrastructure in South Africa today was built by foreigners, and I can say it anywhere. Built by foreigners, managed by foreigners. And I keep asking them, 70%, you can go and fact check, 70% of the private land in South Africa are owned by white people. Black South Africans, they got nothing. And yet somebody will wake up one day full of entitlement. You want to inherit what's not yours. You want to claim what's not yours. You want to claim what you cannot manage. So for me, I will have to advise black Africans in South Africa, if you know you don't have big investments there, the best option is just for you to leave. South Africa is not safe for any black African. Whether you are married to a South African woman, just find a way of leaving the place. Time shall tell. The Bible really says time and chance happens to everything. Tomorrow, yesterday, it was South Africa struggling with apartheid. Ghana, Nigeria, these protesters, illiterates I call them, terrible students of history. They are not even students. They don't know how much Africans contributed to ensure that South Africa wins, defeats apartheid. Here we are again. They believe that South Africa is America. They believe that South Africa is the oxygen other Africans breathe. And the funny aspect of it is that they believe that everyone is in South Africa. When you reply any South African, any daft South African online, they will feel you are in South Africa. Go back to your country. Go back to your country. You that is in that your country, what do you have? Nothing. You that is in that your country, what job do you have? Nothing. What skill? Not. I speak with most South Africans. I even have some of them as female friends. There are no jobs, suffering, but they come online, make you believe that South Africa is heaven, this and that. No, I mean no disrespect. South Africa is a good country, I know that, but how I as a Nigerian, as a person, I take challenge. If a foreigner comes to Nigeria and sets up a business, starts a trade, and I see that the person is doing so well, I'll be challenged. I said, if foreigner could do this, why can't I do? Nobody stops South Africans from setting up their own businesses. Go and get trained, maybe by a black African, on how to do hairstylist as a lady, on how to barb hair as a man. But they won't do it. They just want to sit down, fold their hands, and then want all these things to come to them. It will never happen. My own suggestion, advice to other black Africans, if it is in your power, leave South Africa. Let's see what they make of what they feel they will inherit. Now, I've also made a suggestion to them. If you have the money, why can't you offer to buy the properties, assets of these black Africans, and tell them? You cannot tell somebody who acquired land legally, who bought properties legally, you tell them to just leave these properties, and that is even what they are protesting. These black Africans are not the whites who own 70% of your land, private land, and then you just want them to leave. You are not offering them money. You don't want to maybe a kind of telling them to sell up their properties and leave, since you want to take them. They don't even have the money to buy the land, to buy the property, to buy the shops, buy what is in the shop. So you could tell this alone shows you that these guys are fighting a lost battle. They will end up shouting. In fact, I had actually suggested let them do it for a whole year. Let the world continue to see how foolish these campaigners are. And to even make it worse, I haven't seen the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, address this issue specifically. He comes on their Workers' Day, respect South African laws as you would want us to respect you. Who is not respecting South African laws? Foreigners must be documented. This day, the man. That is one of the reasons why in Nigeria, Nigeria might not be getting it right in many ways, but if it is in this country called Nigeria, the president, whoever will address it specifically, call it the name it is. So the man is afraid of losing vote. The man is afraid that he will lose support, so he will just sit on the fence and wouldn't want to address this. I have said it before. The monsters these politicians are creating, the monsters, the McKenzie, this current South African sports minister, he was worse than these campaigners, the leaders of Operation Dudula and Jacinta Ngobese Zuma of match by match. He was at the top of it. South Africans, black Africans must go, foreigners must go. What they found worthy was to give him a political appointment. The moment they gave him political appointment, all of his struggle was over. So I have said it before, and I'm saying it again. What this politician needed to do is just to give Jacinta Zuma a political appointment. Let her go to parliament. Instead that she go to parliament, she bring everybody down. Once she gets to parliament, she will be shut up. So I can't say much on this again, but what I have to say, this is a shame and disgrace to Africa. A shame and disgrace to Africa that people will rise up and say their fellow Africans, black Africans, should go. It's unheard of. So if you want black Africans not to come to South Africa, why are they getting visa? Those that are documented, they got visa, they applied for visa and they were given. Even till today, South Africa is still approving visa for Nigerians to go to South Africa, approving visa for other Africans to go to South Africa. So all of this nonsense, even work visa, I'm talking of work visas. My data showed it. Even as of last month, South Africa approved work visas. So what's the shout all about? What's the noise all about? Your government is still approving visa for black Africans to get into South Africa to go and do work.